Hello, everyone. Welcome to In the Corner, the place where every cricketer wants to be. I'm your host, Callum Duncan, and thank you so much for joining me for another day of Test cricket review. Australia finished up 6 for 378 at the Gabba under lights. England only were able to manage 9 runs from their overnight total. And Marnus Labuschagne taking absolutely spectacular catch on the boundary to close the innings as Jofra Archer was dismissed for 38. Jofra Archer certainly played a really nice cameo before the Australians would go out to bat. Australia were very patient in the first 4 or 5 overs, and then Head and Weatherald were really able to get going, and these two can seriously bat well together. And I think they've shown enough in this game that Usman's time in this Australian team is done. I liked the more aggressive nature of these two. Obviously, you do lose something with Travis Head being able to come in at number 5 after a team's had a very long day in the field. But I do feel like we've been missing that attacking player at the top of the order for quite some time since David Warner's departure from this Test team. And I think it just looked a lot better. It was able to get players free flowing. The way that Marnus was able to come in and score some runs after Head was dismissed. Head made 33. Unfortunately, just threw away a start today. He'll be pretty filthy with himself, but I think the fact that Trav's, being able to be a lot more watchful today at the top of the order and then, still score a quick fire 30 shows really good signs. If he continues to stay at the top of the order, which I probably imagine he does for the rest of the series now, but whether it's a long-term thing is probably still to be determined. Jake Weatherald looked really good today for 72 off 78 deliveries. This is why he was picked. I thought he played well square of the wicket. I thought he was able to play off his pads nicely. He was able to really score a lot of runs down that third man area, uppercuts over the top. Once again, got done by that sort of full toss ball from Jofra Archer, and that's probably something he's going to have to work on. Understand Jofra is not particularly easy to face, but the fact he's been done twice in a similar kind of way is probably a little bit concerning at this point, but I'm sure he'll be able to work on it with the coaching staff. And just Jofra is obviously not an easy person to face, and if you haven't faced much of him, it can be quite challenging. Marnus, another half century, continuing on his good work from Perth. This is really pleasing to see. He's a lot more aggressive at the crease. Even when Will Jacks came on for his 1 over, he was able to, come down the wicket and really put some pressure back on, even though it was only 1 over before the break, to still come down the wicket, put pressure on the spinner, shows that he's in good form. Smudge looked good again for 61. Probably threw away 100 today, if I'm being perfectly honest. Didn't really commit with that pull shot. Unbelievable catch by Will Jacks at backward square leg. Seriously great catch, but I thought Smudge played really well. He was patient. He was playing through covers really well. There was a few moments against Archer where he looked a bit wobbly, not as sure with those extra balls popping up. Few balls going over the top of the keeper, but that happened a few times today. So Steve Smith certainly wasn't the only one, but with his Shivnarine Chandapal black stickers on his face. He seemed to be able to see the pink ball and play against the pink ball a little bit better than what he has previously. Cameron Green did look good today for 45, but if you watch the short on the reel on our Instagram and TikTok, I was pretty critical of his dismissal today, and there was just absolutely no need to do that. I've just got written down in my notes at that point. Australia were 3 for 291, only trailing by about, just over 30 runs at this point, and there was no need to do it. They were bossing the game. They were completely comfortable, and Australia should be in such of a more dominant position. They should probably be about 70 in front, maybe 1 less wicket down, but when Green got out, then Smith got out quickly afterwards. England were we're on a roll, and we'll talk about some of the England fielding shortly. But yeah, all the batters look good for Australia. Cam Green threw his wicket away. Smithy unfortunately threw his wicket away. Trav threw his wicket away. Jake got a pretty good ball. And then Marnus also threw his wicket away. So, a couple of those guys could have gone on to get hundreds, and England would have been pretty much well and truly out of the game now. If we look at an England point of view, we talked about Will Jacks's catch. That was unbelievable. Almost caught the ball behind him. It was seriously impressive. Cass, we saw the best and the worst parts of Bryden Cass today. I thought he was so ordinary in his first 10 overs, but he bowled this one spell later in the day. Obviously got rid of Cameron Green, worked him over, then got that full Yorker in there. And then obviously took the wicket of Steve Smith thanks to some brilliant fielding from Will Jacks. And you just saw why they pick him in this team. And I watched a lot of the England-India series, and I saw, once again, the best and the worst of Cass. There was a day 3 at Lords, the test match that England narrowly won. He was able to really put India on that back foot, as that was a total that they definitely should have chased down at that point. But, you pick players for their best moments, and with a player like Bryden Cass, you're going to have to tolerate some of those poorer moments that he has. I still think he probably would have bowled better than Josh Tongue on this wicket, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think Cass is a bit more versatile than what Josh Tongue is, in my opinion. But yeah, the way that he was able to come back, I think, was really good. I thought Archer was relatively poor today. I just didn't think that he had that fire in the belly or the steam to come in. And we know what Jofra Archer can do when he is in full flight. And we saw what exhilarating pace and accuracy he was able to bowl in Perth. But today he just looked really tired. And I'm not sure whether this is just a lack of overs under the belt sort of thing, or a lack of match practice. But if it's a lack of match practice, the English side should have played that pink ball game in Canberra. I still think most of that England side should have played the pink ball game in Canberra. Extra preparation, because there are 4 players in this team that haven't played against the pink ball previously. I just thought England overall were very poor in their first 40 overs of the bowling innings. Obviously, the night session, they were able to get themselves back into it. But once again, some poor batting from an Australian point of view kind of brought England back into the game. So many drops today for England. What it could have been potentially for England. Duckett with 2 drops. Cass dropped an absolute sitter off Michael Neser. Root, I'll give him credit. He dropped a tough one, but realistically, that's Jamie Smith's catch off Alex Carey within the last 20 minutes of the day. Smith didn't have a great day with the gloves. He dropped a couple, or there was one off head that was a really bad drop. And then that one that we're just talking about with Root, it's very difficult as someone who's fielded in the slips to dive towards the keeper. You shouldn't be diving towards the keeper in any capacity. Anything between, the inside foot between the keeper and first slip, that's definitely 95% of the time is going to be the keeper's catch. And they should have the reach to get there. There was a few times that Jamie Smith was wrong-footed, but that's just sometimes wicket keeping and going with your natural instincts first, and then obviously having to adjust afterwards. But Alex Carey and Michael Neser were able to bat really well towards the end of the day. Alex Carey finishing on 46 not out. Michael Neser looking really good as well. I think Michael Neser's batting in this test match is actually going to be quite critical. I was pretty critical of the team selections in a way yesterday. I didn't think like Nathan Lyon deserved to be dropped. But if Michael Neser can add, 30 to 40 runs, even potentially push on to get a 50, that's going to have a massive sway in the match. So, Nathan Lyon, you might only get somewhere between 15 and 25 runs out of him. But I think Michael Neese's extra batting might come in really handy at this point of the game. Obviously, decisions in hindsight. But yeah, I thought Neese looked really good with the bat. And from an Australian point of view, if he's able to get some runs, hopefully he gets a little bit extra confidence with the ball. He's probably a little bit nervous in the first innings. Hopefully he can take some poles in the second innings. So just on England as well, I thought Atkinson bowled quite well today without any luck. Lots of nicks. I thought Stokes as well bowled quite well today. His first maybe, 6, 7, 8 overs were not as strong, but that spell that he bowled under light and the delivery to get rid of Josh Inglis was a pretty good one, with Josh Inglis playing back to a ball that did quite a bit in the end. So, yeah, Australia well on top at the moment, in front by about 40 runs. I definitely think that they could have been further in front. They could have been 70-odd runs in front leading into day 3. But if you gave this scoreline at the beginning of the day, you'd probably have taken it. Australia will just be filthy that they threw wickets away. England definitely could have bowled better at points throughout the day. But if they're able to restrict Australia to a lead under 75, I think England would be pretty happy with that at this point of the game, with some cracks starting to open up on the pitch. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Make sure that you stay tuned to the In the Court and social media and wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.